Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this episode number 203, and the latest and greatest in the GMGU. This is the Good Morning Guys podcast. This morning, we are catching you up on what's new news for the quadfecta, and we are so thankful that you joiners have joined us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we discuss the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and to play. I am your host tonight, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Next to me, the birthday boy himself, the judge, the jury, the executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novosel.
Dude, I gotta tell you, your energy tonight is awesome. I don't know. Can you keep it up?
I will do my best. And our last member of the present members of the GMG Quadfecta, he's got music in his heart, a variety of battle royales on his brain, and La Carreta in his old stomacho. Marc, Boucher.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patrick. Happy birthday to you.
That was really, really nice. Now, my only critique is you didn't do it the Marilyn Monroe way.
I was waiting for it.
Birthday, Mr. President. No.
Oh, and the
Mr.
Patrick.
Oh,
Nice.
man. All right. With us only in spirit, that's why we're three people of a quadfecta. The man who can make you laugh in 3 words or words or less, Ronnie Johantis. He is otherwise disposed, but with us in spirit. So, You know what, Patrick? Since it is your birthday, since you're celebrating that big 39, one step away from 40, I think you should start tonight by sharing what's new with you, my friend.
Yes. I have a few things that happened this past week. So some episodes ago, I said that I wanted to start watching WWE from 2002 and on. And last night, I just finished 2003. So I am 2 years into my 20-year, just viewing of all the WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to watch all of these. Some of the wrestlers I'm watching now are young, or have already retired, or have not even started yet. So it's really cool to see all this. One of the things that I noticed is, as I'm watching these, I don't know what the rating was for these pay-per-views, but the pay-per-views recently for WWE, they're like TV, like PG. Like there's no blood, there's no really little to no cussing, there's no scantily clad women, walking around the ring and all that stuff. So it's nice. I can actually watch it with my son. And now I'm watching these times where it's just like, feels like it's whatever the higher, it's between PG-13 and R. It feels like it's like, it is
After hours.
it is bloody, more bloody than I've ever seen. I don't of any I could remember of any of the wrestling. And so they're doing there's little risque things going on. There's some cussing, there's innuendos.
Wait,
I'm like,
do they have like shirts and skins going on? Is that how crazy it
kind of,
gets?
yeah.
Oh,
kind
okay.
of. Yeah, really
All right.
like that. So like, I'm like, I can't watch this in the living room. I have to watch it either in the evening or when the kids are not in bed or when their kids are not around. It's the only time I can really watch it. And so that's why I like, today's wrestling. I can actually have it. It's like a family thing. We can get in there and we can, Clark and I can watch. But here's the thing. Starting this Saturday at WWE SummerSlam, which is like one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year besides WrestleMania, they're going to TV 14. And I'm like,
Getting back to their roots.
They are. So I'm expecting, more mature, not really mature, but just like, I don't know, gritty and bloody and all that stuff. So I'm going to have to take a look at it. because I think the TV shows are also going TV 14. So we'll see how that goes. But I was kind of, because I wanted to take Clark to the next wrestling show that comes to town. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to take him to it if they're going to be something that I don't approve of. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but he's real close to 14, so he's
he's only
on the
6
doorstep.
years away from that.
Only.
It's only about half his age.
That's close enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how it's going to be. We'll definitely see about that. Another thing is Vince McMahon has retired from WWE.
That's crazy.
So, which is insane that he's not a part of WWE right now. His daughter, his son-in-law, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H took over, which is crazy because they were wrestling when I was growing up. And so we'll see how things change without Vince McMahon having the final say on the storylines. So things are getting interesting in WWE in my world. On the movie front, I watched Lightyear this past week.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did.
All right.
And I was like, what is this movie even about? And the first, words that come on is Andy got a toy in 1995. And he was so excited that he got the toy from this movie. This is that movie. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is just the movie of Buzz Lightyear and why he had a toy. And it was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular, groundbreaking, wasn't really emotional, which I'm used to in Pixar movies.
Right.
It felt like a serious, just ho-hum regular movie. Which was, and not to say I was entertained. The movie was fun to watch, but
I mean, who doesn't want a bacon bread bacon sandwich?
No, you don't put the
meat bread
on
meat. What are you talking about? It's a new way to do it. We're doing it Lightyear style.
Yeah, and it was like that. Even that joke felt weird because the movie was serious.
Yeah.
And so it was overall a forgettable movie.
No, but just real quick to interject, you saying it's like such a serious movie. I'm like, at the end, I was thinking, you're telling me that Andy watched this movie as, what was he, like 7 in Toy Story 1? And he liked it? I'm like, this is not, this was like over his head, most of the stuff that happened.
Yeah. I don't want to get into any spoilers, but the turn that happened later in the movie, and I'm like, what? Like, this makes no sense. But yeah, I would give it, it might not be better than WALL-E. Like, that's on my ranking.
All right.
I'm like I said, I did enjoy it. I was entertained, but I probably will never see this movie again. We have to do our Pixar review series coming up, which I guess I'll have to watch it again when we get to that point, but I will begrudgingly be watching it during that. But yeah, 6.5 out of 10. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just not what Pixar is known for.
Right.
On the gaming front, I started playing As Dusk Falls, and which is that story-driven telltale kind of game where your choices matter to the story. And I played the first episode so far, the first chapter. I don't know how many chapters there are, maybe 5 or something like that. But I played the first chapter, and at the end of the chapter, after making all my decision, it shows you this decision tree. And this decision tree is enormous. And I'm like, oh my goodness. It felt like Detroit Become Human. If anyone has played that game, where definitely. No matter, like, your choices can branch off and go wildly different down the road, which is what's that?
I said crazy.
Yeah, it's wild how many decisions that you can make and what it goes to. It's for me, it's hard to play games over when this is the story that I am kind of writing as it were.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to go back and play. It really depends on how, I will look once I get to the end of the game, how many choices that have affected my storyline and how different those people that have also done it. So We'll see, but it's a very interesting story so far. It's not nothing like Marvel. It's just a serious, grounded, real life. Feels like a weekly, nightly show, where it's more serious, and it's got mature elements into it. It's got family elements into it. It's got So we'll see how that goes. But I'm really enjoying it so far. Can't wait to jump back into that.
Cool.
Sweet deal.
Yeah, I think outside of that, it's been. I mean, I've had our dog for a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us puppy update.
How is Ellie?
She is exhausting.
Yeah.
Ellie is exhausting. She's a puppy and she has energy for days. And so we have one of the things that she's smart. I really feel like she's smart. Well, sorry. Let me rephrase. She has smart moments and then she has really dumb moments. So
highs and lows.
Smart moments, we have a bell that is hanging from our doorknob to go outside. And anytime that we feel that we needed to go outside to take her to go potty, we'll put the bell up to her nose. We'll say, go potty. And then we'll put on the leash and we'll walk outside. So we've been doing this for a week. And today she's been ringing her bell. I'm like, all right, she wants to go outside and go potty. I'm like, okay, so sweet. Put her on the leash to go outside and she goes potty. I'm like, it's only been a week and she's already learning this, this habit that we've been doing it, 10 times a day, maybe more. So it's been a lot of repetition. But so we go outside, she goes potty and we come back in. She takes a drink, has a couple bites of her food, and then she rings her bell again. I'm like, what? We were just out. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess she needs to go potty. Maybe she needs to, take a dump outside. Who knows? So I take her outside and she's just walking around, enjoying the wind and just barking at things. And then she starts eating everything. Like she's eating leaves, she's eating grass, she's eating rocks, she's eating grout, she's eating part of the driveway that's chipping away, she's grabbing, she's just like chewing these things. I'm like, get it out of your mouth, what are you doing? And it's like those rocks cannot taste good, why are you? And I can hear it chomping on her teeth. That's like really loud. I'm like, what do you have in your mouth? And she's just got a big chaw of rock just like in the side of her mouth. Like, what are you doing?
He's like, what, Daddy? It's just rock.
Yeah.
This is what we do, Dad.
So I was like, okay, you don't need to do anything. We're out there for 10 minutes. We come back inside. Inside for less than 5 minutes, she rings her bell again. I'm like, oh my gosh, this dog is exhausting. When I say exhausting, I'm like, and then I have to get up because I wanted to take a quick little nap before we did our podcast. And this little girl is like, it feels like another kid. It feels like
no naps for you
in my house.
Yeah.
And I remember having a toddler where you have to follow them everywhere so they don't get into anything or put stuff in their mouths or whatever, whatever toddlers do. That's what she feels like. And I'm like, wow,
oh, puppies.
Yeah, I don't want to have another kid. No way, no how. This is enough.
And this is why I got Cisco when he was 5, so I could skip all of that.
Yeah, man.
But I love the puppy phase.
Yeah,
they're so
it's
playful and innocent and loving, and they want to bite you all the time.
They want to make you bleed your own blood.
Annoying and needy and
razor sharp teeth and all that. It's fun though. She's a blast, and like she plays hard, but she sleeps hard. And it's great. It's great.
Puppies sleep a lot. It's crazy. But yeah, that whole eating everything, depending on how things go, they may or may not grow out of it. Like for Rayla, she's 1 year and 3 months now and 4 months. And at, almost 1.5 years, she will just pick up rocks and I'll just hear her crunching and I'll walk over and be like, Rayla, drop it. And she'll like lay down and be like, kind of like, let's play. I have a rock here. That means you want to pay attention to me. Yeah. And she's learned like that. I will pay attention. So sometimes she'll grab a rock and run up and just put it on the ground and be like, hey, I got a rock. What are you going to do about it? because she wants to play. She
not
wants
a
to
toy,
mess with
Raylan.
me.
It's a rock.
It's a rock, and it hurts. And then I read stories about, people's dogs who eat like pounds and pounds of like landscaping pebbles or rocks or something, and they have to take them to the hospital and have surgery. And so like that's in my head while my dog's eating a rock, and I'm like, nope, we're not starting that. So I get the rock and throw it in the trash.
Yeah, and that's what concerns Mel and I. So we we watch her go to the restroom outside. She's pottying outside, but her stool has become a little not as firm, and so we're kind of concerned. So Mel was looking today and noticed blood that was in her stool.
Oh no.
So she she had to take a sample of it and bring it to the vet today, and they're going to send it off to get results to find out what's going on. It could have been, and we're thinking like she tries to eat everything, and all those pebbles that are out there in the driveway, we don't know if she's like swallowing those or what. We really hope it's just that and nothing other internally wrong with her,
right?
Which is very concerning. But my first thought is when my wife called me and she's like, hey, I had to take a sample of the stool and they're going to send it off to the lab. We'll get the results tomorrow. My first reaction was, whose job is that? Like
Someone
who
bottom of the totem pole.
Hey, so what do you do? I have to analyze poop all day. Like that seems, I mean, I
hope they get
someone's got to do it.
Yeah,
someone's got to do it.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done.
But man, I would never want that job.
Yep. So you got the grunt worker who's like handling it and testing it and prints off a paper and then hands that paper to the vet, and the vet looks at the paper and is like, "Yep, it's this," or "It's not this."
Yeah, I hope it comes back just nothing, and it's just like an upset stomach from whatever she's been trying to eat or has been eating. So we'll find out more tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, outside of that, same old.
Sweet deal.
All right. Marcus, would like to share with the class what's been going on?
So before I get into my update, I just want to do a little bit of inside baseball because people are going to see this on the video version. So people are still subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
From the RRR review that you guys did.
Yeah, that's right.
And literally
Spoilers.
while you guys were in the middle of talking, we had another subscriber, and I have it set up for alerts. And so we definitely just had Isaac P just subscribed.
Thanks, Isaac P. You're the best.
Yeah, those numbers, dude, are insane.
Yep.
Like
insane.
Really cool. Like I would never have thought that our first episode of GMG movies, where we review and spoiler cast the RR movie, would have done the numbers it has done. It is our number one video,
hands down,
of all time.
Yeah, less than a week after the fact.
Of all time, in less than a week.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. It's really cool to interact with a different community that we've never interacted before.
Yeah, I mean,
really
and
neat.
you've been. Hats off to you, man. Every time I go in there, to kind of look at the comments and see if I should respond to anything, you're already on it. You're already responding, and you've been keeping up with that really well. And I've really appreciated just the overall reception. There's been some great combos. There have been a lot of recommendations.
There has been.
Over and over and over. So we got some movies to check out and to spoil and to review and such. But yeah, really, really cool turnout. I will say I had a feeling when you did a Twitter mini review and it blew up. If you remember, you had like over 1,000 likes, and you're like, what is happening? And I was like, I wonder if this translates to YouTube or whatever. For whatever reason, the RR movie is just, it's a hot ticket item right now. So, and I think the West is, some people are catching on to it, some people aren't, but it's growing in number of people who are catching on. So I've watched it twice. Lucas, you've watched it. We did a spoiler cast on it. I watched it 1.5 times. Thank you.
Oh, okay, that's right. You did. And so this movie was just it it really blindsided me with how good it was. And so I've been telling everyone that I know, have you watched it yet? Go ahead and watch this. I've had, in the circle of people at work, 2 of them have watched it and they
Nice.
both loved it. So
Yeah.
it's really cool to see, like, because usually when you recommend a movie, you're like, oh, it doesn't sound like it's for me. But this one is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of
RRR,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm part of the Watched It Club.
Yes.
Nice.
Watched it with Kristen on Sunday night,
Okay.
and because I told her about it a little bit and mentioned how that video was like blowing up for us, and I just started watching it, and she's like, well, now I'm invested. I need to watch the rest of this.
Fantastic.
And so she sat and watched with me the whole 3 hours, and we were discussing this whole thing, and like, man, it's good. Like, it's really good. Like, it's outlandish at
Sure.
a lot of times.
Just a little bit.
But like, just how much although I watch superhero movies where people can do all those kinds of things, but the story was great. It's interesting to catch, the cultural stuff that I have most times no idea what it is. But that's just my Western ignorance. Overall, I very much enjoyed it. Kristen enjoyed the movie. We had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a great story. And the action was fantastic. And yeah, I absolutely recommend it. And Kristen very much enjoyed it as well. I give it a 9.5 tigers out of 10.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
And I guess the half is mainly only to my Western ignorance, because there were things that went over my head.
It's fair. It's fair.
And a lot of just random dance breaks, which you would think I would be okay with, because I'm all into music and all that kind of stuff. But it was just, I don't know, it was just kind of weird when it would happen. But
hey, you may not know the flamenco, but you at least know the Desi Natch.
I do.
That's right.
I do know the Desi Natch now. Nacho. But no, I very much love the movie.
Awesome.
So welcome to everybody who is now watching us or listening to us, and our new, listeners to the show, new joiners. Hopefully you like the rest of what we do. But yeah, welcome to you guys. Sorry, I was not on that episode. I did not get to watch it until later, but I'm glad I watched it.
I think Ronnie watched it too. So if you and Ronnie want to do a part two, Spoilercast, feel free.
What I understand is this movie came out in March, and it did really well internationally. It did. It didn't. I don't think it came. If it came to theaters over here, it was select theaters. But really, this movie is word of mouth.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see the more people that watch this movie, the more people that are going to say, "Hey, go see this movie." It was kind of like Top Gun. People were like, go see Top Gun," and everyone's like, "Go see it now."
Yeah.
And so same here.
Absolutely. So we are officially on week number 2 of me not being able to feel my lower lip.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I still can't feel like all right in here. So I think I've got some nerve damage. But I tried calling my I don't remember if I mentioned this on last week's episode. I tried calling the endodontist that worked on this.
Yeah.
And when I called, like, the whole office was on vacation. Like,
fantastic.
Like, how is that a thing? How does the whole office get to go on vacation? So I'm going to try to call back tomorrow and say, look, this is what's going on. What do I need to do? Is there anything I can do? I was talking to a friend of mine at church, and he was mentioning to me he had some surgery done on his hand. He had to have a cyst removed, and he had nerve damage for like a good month or two. But he said that nerve damage, it can come back, it can heal. The nerves are one of those things that heals. So hopefully it's not forever. It would be nice if it wasn't.
So I have questions here.
Mhm.
So when you're like drinking, do you have like dribbling
No.
issues?
No, thankfully, like I can take a drink.
For those who are just listening, Marc just took a drink of his drink.
Yes, indeed.
And it did not fall onto his shirt.
Yep, I
or
do not have
down
any
his
dribbles
beard.
here.
Dribble free.
Yep, dribble free. But no, it's just this one part of my lip right here, like it's just like tingly and numb, and sometimes I'll have a little bit of pain, but otherwise, it's just numb there. It just feels like somebody socked me in the face right there. It's just swollen or numb. But it's not like debilitating. Like I can live my life and be fine, but it's just annoying and concerning. So hopefully we can figure it out. Hopefully things will heal and I'll be fine. But I mean, if worst comes to worst, if this is what I have to deal with for the rest of my life, then it's not the worst thing in the world, but I would just rather not.
Right. Yeah.
That's fair.
But
That's fair.
but that's pretty much what's been going on in the IRL side of things, at least. On the gaming side of things, before I go into gaming,
take it back. Just kidding.
I did, and I didn't mention this last week. I got to guest on the Mountain Nerds podcast, the final episode. The 100th / final episode, which was a lot of fun. Yeah. They did like a super fight thing where basically before the show, Caleb sent out like a particular character and a couple of different abilities that your character has. And he basically did like a bracket style competition. And I guess it's based on a I don't know if it's like a book or something like that called Super Fight.
Okay.
And so you basically have to argue your case for why you think you would win against the person you're going against. And so they did this huge super fight competition. I got knocked out in the first round. I got beat by a Girl Scout, like an 8 or 9 foot tall Girl Scout. And I was queen. I was the band queen. And I had a sadness ray for my ability, and I had a jetpack. And that was what I had to work with.
All right.
But no, that was a lot of fun being able to hang out and send off the Mountain Nerds podcast. Obviously Caleb's still around. He's going to be streaming still, but if you have not followed the Space Hawk on Twitch, you should, because he is officially doing all the streaming stuff now. He's done with the podcasting side of things.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that was a great time, having a lot of fun with him. And on the gaming side of things, and we'll talk more about this in an episode, our first episode of the PlayStation Premium podcast.
Yeah.
I finished up Stray, played and finished up Stray. Absolutely loved that. Had a great time with it. I kind of wish it was longer, but it's nice, short, and sweet, but I had a lot of fun with it. Streamed some Friday Night Fortnite the other night with Caleb and Tim Pollen and Caleb's wife, Taylor, which was a lot of fun, as always. Nice. And kept the needle going on the Wind Waker. Man, I just continue to love this game.
What a game.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's just such a breath of fresh air again from dealing with Majora's Mask, but yeah, I've been keeping the needle going on that.
Yeah, I jumped into your stream this past weekend, and I think it was this past weekend, and I jumped in and I just had it on. I was like, the audio in this game is just, I don't know what it is, but it's really soothing. But it's also like keeps me like, I don't know, it keeps you chipper. I don't know. It's like a nice, joyful feeling from this audio of this game. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because like at first when they put this out, when they announced Wind Waker, they were coming off Majora's Mask, and they're like, "Ew, this looks gross. Why coming off the super serious Majora's Mask type stuff? Like, ew." But like this is a beloved Zelda game. It turned out that this was a good decision for them, and they did a lot of great work with the HD version. But yeah, I just still having tons of fun with it. But that has been pretty much it for me on the gaming side of things. I think that's pretty much it for me.
Nice.
All right. I
Lucas?
guess that leaves me. Oh, look at you two, Jinx.
Yeah, shotgun.
Cheese stands alone.
Yep. All right.
Buy me a Coke.
So this past week, I went to a zoo.
Ooh.
Haven't been to a zoo in quite some time, if I'm being honest. Definitely fans of the zoo. We are,
Okay.
the Swishers. What were you going to say, Patrick?
They have zoos in Brazil? Like what kind of zoos? Are these like
They do have zoos.
Are these like San Diego, Cincinnati kind of zoos, or is it like here's 2 goats and a ferret? Like
I mean, well, let's jump into it, shall we? It's
I
a
know
little
zoo
bit of
ever.
both.
Some
Two
zoos,
goats and a
when people
ferret.
say when I hear zoos, it's like, okay, is it a farm or is it actual like big,
Like a
huge
petting
zoo?
zoo.
It's in the middle. Let me
Yeah.
give some context. I'm a very experienced zoo attender. So I'm from West Virginia. We have a zoo there, and it is definitely more of a farm than a zoo. While they do have lions at this
At the
West
farm?
Virginia zoo called Hovatters. Yeah, at the farm. No, but this zoo, and I would say if you live in the tri-state area of West Virginia, Ohio, and that other one, Pennsylvania, I think, check out Hovatters Zoo. It's actually just worth seeing once, in part because it's a very unique experience. Like most of the animals have a PVC pipe going into their cage, and you can feed them kibble.
Oh,
And these animals have figured it out to the point where they do nothing but bang on the pipe or shove their face in the pipe. Like when I went to, of course, you go to one of the displays and it's a raccoon in a cage, and you're like, really, Trash Panda? This is what we're coming to see at a zoo? And the thing literally just shoves its head into the pipe and waits for you to put the kibble down the pipe to feed it. And then the bear sits there on its butt and just bangs on the pipe, says, "Hey, give me food now, or I'm not gonna do anything."
so
Except
are you in
bang on
this
the pipe.
zoo and it feels like a concert of Stomp? Like, are you just? Is it so loud in there that it's unbearable? That's what I could fear.
It's open air, so it actually is not that bad.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but you do when you get close, you hear thunk thunk thunk, like you hear the PVC just getting hit sound. I don't know how else to describe it. But that is not the zoo that I went to this past week. We went to a zoo that is in the city of Sao Paulo. I don't know how it compares to Central Park Zoo. I've never been to that one. They're in old New York. But this one was okay. I think overall the layout was a little weird. It felt like it was not a big park, but it was easy to get lost. Like it seemed like all the paths were like spider webs in terms of how they all interconnected. There were some paths where it had no signage of what you were going to. You were just going into the middle of the forest, and you're like, what are we going to run into? And sometimes you went and there was no animal. Sometimes you went and there was an animal. It was 50-50 sometimes. Actually, it was not always 50-50. Sometimes you went and the animal was like in the far corner under a rock and you could see its foot. The end. And it never left. We made the mistake. Yeah, it's like we made the mistake of going in the like early to mid afternoon time. We just this was a zoo you could walk through at not at a brisk pace, but a fairly, laid back pace in like 2.5 hours. So it's not a real big zoo. And I feel like as I've gotten older, I much prefer like Planet Earth, seeing animals in the wild, seeing them doing their thing in HD, as opposed to seeing them in real life when they're caged up and they're just kind of staring at you like, this sucks. Like they're just like, you can tell they're not happy to be here.
Not about that life.
No, it's just as an adult. Like, I think as when you're a kid and you see animals in the zoo, there's like just the magic of being that close to them. And I feel like I've become an adult, I can see like an almost deadness in some of their eyes. And I'm like, I know that some of these animals, their species wouldn't survive without, someone putting them in a zoo and protecting them and that kind of stuff. But some places do it better than others, and some places need to, I don't know, get online and get some pointers through YouTube or something to do it better. But so this one was mid-level, to say the least. However, the hippopotamus saved the day for this trip.
The hippopotamus, huh?
The hippopotamus of all creatures. I did not expect the water unicorn or whatever it's called, the aquatic. I forget what
unicorn. Normal?
Yeah, what is hippopotamus means something in Greek or Latin or something. It's like water horse. Maybe it's water
Quick,
horse.
Robin to the Google machine.
Yeah, you need to go look that up, Marcus. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But we get there, and the hippo's doing its thing. It's floating in the water. And for whatever reason, my family decides we're going to make jungle sounds at this hippopotamus and see what happens. And so we all just make a different jungle sound. Where I think it's because at this point where we've had so many animals either disappear or sleep or not show up that we're just like, we're going to have our own fun. Go ahead, Mark.
Mm-hmm. River horse.
River horse. Thank you. Not water horse, not water unicorn or whatever I said earlier. River horse.
I like all three of them.
Yeah, I think it all works. It all works out that way.
Anytime I think of hippopotamus, the song gets stuck in my head. There was like an episode of like The Tonight Show where Oscar Isaac was on, and he starts playing this random song on an acoustic guitar. I think he was like making it up in his head.
Stuff.
Yeah. And he starts singing hippopotamus, like. And so anytime somebody mentions that, it pops into my head, especially knowing what Oscar Isaac was doing on Moon Knight with the hippopotamus.
Yep, he was acting alongside a hippopotamus.
When I hear hippopotamus, it immediately goes to it's Rob Schneider in, it's not Mr. Deeds, it's the other Adam Sandler movie where he's like hip hop. Anonymous? You get all the easy words. It's not
it's not 50. Is it 50 First Dates?
No. It's the one where it's Big Daddy.
Oh, Big Daddy, yeah.
Okay.
No.
You gotcha.
And then my mind goes to Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
With the rhinoceros?
With the rhinoceros, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We did not get that good of a show.
Sorry, I don't know why I was thinking it was a hippopotamus.
Yeah, that's a rhino, but still, that's a great scene. That scene plays rent free in my mind all the time.
Ew. Why?
Because whenever I walk outside and it's really hot, I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of hot in these rhinos.
All right, so with this hippopotamus, we start making these jungle sounds and animal sounds, and the hippopotamus kind of like, it doesn't look directly at us, but it turns its head in the water, and all of a sudden it starts opening its ginormous mouth and shows off its teeth to us, almost as if it's like threatened by us or trying to say like, hey, back off, you crazy sounding animals.
Super territorial.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool. And so we were like, oh, I took some pictures. We were kind of far away though. So it eventually stopped and we walked around to the other side of it, and the family looked for a second and then they walked away, and I stuck around, and all of a sudden the hippo turned around again and like pointed her I found out later, so her head towards me, and did the same thing, except I got like super close up shot of her mouth, and then she swam towards me and then went up the ramp, which was right in front of where I was standing, and it was cool. Like, I'd never been that close to a hippopotamus before, and they are fat, like huge and fat. Like, I don't understand how their legs hold them up. They have so much just bigness.
Yeah,
they're crazy big. So that was a really cool highlight of the zoo trip. Another family thing that we did is we started and watched the 6-episode series. It doesn't take that long because they're 11 minutes each, of the new Baymax show on Disney Plus.
Oh, that's out? Oh, okay.
That was super fun, super heartfelt. As you can imagine, Baymax is like he makes things awkward. He makes things like charming. Like what a fun character. And honestly, like it's for a wide variety of people and ages. They talk about depression. They talk about that time of the month. They talk about everything. Like, and they do it in a very, I thought it was both a very educational way, but also a very funny way. And like, actually, my favorite episode was the as Baymax shared with the young lady he was talking with, the menstrual pain episode, where she's just on a struggle bus and he's like, I got your back. And the way he deals with it and the way he talks about it is both educational and also heartfelt. Like it got to the end and I actually got emotional. The way
no way.
The way
Wow.
Baymax like spoke on the level to this girl that was going through this, spoilers,
Wow.
it's episode 3. I
Okay.
was like, you know what? You're right. More people need to just hear this and think this and understand this. It was really good. I recommend it. I give it 6 out of 6.
I might just check out that scene just to see what you're talking about.
Yeah,
'Cause-
you need to watch. It's episode 3, but they're all 11 minutes, so it's really short.
Oh,
But,
11 minutes. Oh, how many episodes are there?
There's 6. It takes
Oh, I can watch that. Yeah, in one day.
easy. Yeah. And,
All right.
and
Who had menstrual pain on their bingo card?
yep. Circle it now.
On the GMG bingo card.
Yep. So yeah, it was bingo. Someone got it. Someone won right now. Yeah, that one, and it has a very what if feel by the last episode. So
Okay.
I have I give it 6 out of 6. I guess Infinity Stones. I don't know why I did 6 out of 6.
Is
Well, there's 6
Wrong
episodes.
podcast.
So yeah. Oops, wrong one.
Wrong podcast. It's a crossover they didn't know was happening.
Yep. We did not let them know we were doing this, but we're doing it now.
Warning.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll give it 6 out of 6 Band-Aids. It was really good, and I recommend it to people of all ages and
Nice.
walks of life. So
Cool.
Check it out.
Cool.
And then the last thing, I don't know how much we want to talk about it, but man, San Diego Comic-Con, they dropped some stuff. Actually, more specifically, Marvel dropped some
yeah,
stuff.
I was gonna say.
Oh, do we
Yeah.
have enough time for this? Oh my goodness.
I don't know if we do,
Like,
but
hey,
I'm up for
you know
talking about it a
how-
little bit.
Yeah, you know how we've been doing, these movies and these TV shows. Here's 400 more.
I don't feel like they've ever given this much information at once. They're like, here's the rest of Phase 4, and here's Phase 5. Oh, and by the way, Phase 6 too.
Yeah,
we're gonna let you
what?
know what's happening
And we're
What?
doing 2 Avengers movies in 1 year.
in the same
What?
year. Are you serious?
What?
Dang,
And
it's
I can
absolutely
hear the
insane.
VFX people being like, "Oh heck no!"
Did they even consult us?
Well, because they're in some hot water with the VFX people, with whoever they work with. Like apparently Marvel has a bit of a bullying presence to
Uh-oh.
VFX people.
Yeah.
And people are sounding off on it. So hopefully they can
Oh,
get their act together with that. 'Cause
Yeah,
if they're gonna
no
pull
doubt.
off this kind of stuff, they need to have the
Right?
VFX people on their sides. But yeah, that was insane.
and was anybody expecting that reveal or them to reveal the next phases at all?
We knew they were going to be doing something like that, but like
Yeah.
not on that kind of a scale.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
We're getting to the end of Phase 4, so it makes sense that they would share Phase 5. But then to get like, hey, by the way, here are the exact dates for also Phase 6. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
there are
And they-
some
and they-
spots in there they haven't made any announcements on what movies are coming, but
Right.
Yeah, and they showed some behind the scenes trailers. I don't know if any of you have checked those out. They are available, but they're like horrible quality. And
That is
things are
correct.
not-
I tried.
Things are not done. Yeah, things are not done. It's the early stages. They will update it for they're not done with their CG work. So
Yeah.
they were rough and they were ugly. Both quality and being able to see anything. So, but yeah, it's insane how much they're doing. This is, I think, the multiverse saga they're
Yep.
calling it. Is that
Yep.
what,
Yep.
is that what I hear? So, which is awesome because I love multiverses.
Going
Yeah.
full Kang on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it really gets me excited for what they're doing. I mean, I feel like it being the multiverse saga was kind of like, it's about, did you not call it this before? Like, did they not say this before? Because I thought it was pretty obvious it was.
They kind of gave indications of where they were going with it.
Yeah,
But that I don't think they had specifically named it the multiverse saga until now.
right. That makes sense. That they finally, put a ring on it, put a name on it, and declared what it is. But yeah, I'm really pumped to see what the future holds. I don't understand. I know we mentioned it, but I don't understand how and why they're doing it unless it's like an Infinity War Endgame thing where they're putting 2 Avengers movies in the same year. It has to be like,
Yeah, it has
the
to be a
end.
part 1 and part 2. Kind of
yeah, like
Yeah.
just without calling it that.
Yeah.
So yeah, like my guess is the first one is going to be like doom falls upon them. Maybe
They'll be
literally,
like,
who knows?
All right, we're this is releasing on January 1st. The second movie, December 31st.
Yeah.
Same year.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Biggest announcement that made me the most excited, freaking Daredevil is getting his
Born
show
Again.
back. Born Again. And
18 episodes.
episodes. We're not doing no
Watch
6-episode crap.
them be
Yeah.
like Baymax 11 minutes long each episode.
They better not be.
Yeah.
I would be
No, they won't. They won't.
18 8-minute episodes.
Yeah.
6
And
minute of credits.
Not only
Exactly.
not only is Daredevil going to be in his own series in the MCU, but he's going to be in not 1 but 2
Ooh, that was
other
a fun
shows.
reveal.
He's going to be in She-Hulk.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait for She-Hulk.
I tell you what.
She-Hulk looks fun.
That latest trailer was showing more training with Hulk, and then just showing more of a like what the story is about, her taking over like the what do they call them? Not mutant division, enhanced.
Enhanced individuals is what they're
Yeah,
calling
the
it.
enhanced division of what they're doing. Like I just love that whole layout, and it does look like a fun.
Totally
it looks like
redeemed yourself.
it looks like the Hulk meets Ally McBeal show.
Yeah.
Back in the early 2000s, late 90s. When was
I never
that? Ally McBeal show?
saw Ally McBeal, but I
No?
think that sounds right.
All I can think of is that stupid dancing baby.
Yep, that stupid dancing baby for sure.
Give it to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, if you're old like me and you somehow got conned into watching a few episodes of Ally McBeal, you'll understand.
Oh my gosh. And I
yeah.
love how she breaks the fourth wall in the show.
Yes,
That's hilarious.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, is this going to be like The Office, where it's going to be a documentary? Crew just walking around taking a video. Like, why was she breaking the fourth wall?
Well,
What was that?
she was well known for that in the comics.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
she
that's
actually did it
cool.
before Deadpool actually did it, which he's known for breaking the fourth wall. I think
Oh,
he's
yeah.
more well known
Yeah.
for breaking the fourth wall, just because of it's Deadpool.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did that.
Oh, that's
first.
cool. That's really
So yeah, yeah, I was very excited about that.
That's coming up like in a couple weeks, right?
Yep.
Yeah, beginning of August.
Yeah, he's
So,
supposed to
here
be.
we go.
Daredevil's supposed to be in She-Hulk, and he's also going to be in Echo, which comes out next year. part
So
of Phase
yeah,
5.
I don't. Am I supposed to know what Echo is? What is Echo?
Echo is that lady, the sign
Hawkeye.
language lady from Hawkeye.
Oh wow, she's having her own show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
And Daredevil's a part of it, and supposedly Kingpin is a part of it. So
Oh, the Kingpin from Daredevil, Netflix.
yeah, same guy,
Nice.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Yep.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, spoilers for Hawkeye, by the way. I don't know.
Oh
if you knew
no,
that.
you said there was a deaf woman, so I was like, I think that's fine. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's good enough. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you had your chance, people, to watch it. Come on now.
Yep. But
Yeah, which is
super
good.
excited.
Speaking of you had your chance, we never did any kind of review or final thoughts on Ms. Marvel. Do you want to share any at this time?
So, man, the way the show started, like the first couple episodes were fun. They were fun, and I was like, this is what the rest of the show is going to be like. And it wasn't. It just it fell flat to me. Like, I think that's another reason why we never did a Ms. Marvel spoiler on it, because it didn't feel, if the first 2 episodes were good, and we talked about those, I think we talked about those, and then we never talked about it again.
Right.
Like we did it our updates. We never did.
Yeah, we
spoilercast
did
or
talk a little
anything.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we fell off because it was just none of it really mattered. The final scene, the final couple scenes really is interesting, but it felt like it was shoehorned in.
Right.
And it was like why are we why does this what like it just came out of nowhere. There was no lead up to it. There was no like climax. I was like, that was a cool reveal. It was just like, it felt like it was thrown in there. And it's like, all right, well, okay. And then we look at the whole phase 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that Marvel just did, and nowhere in there is X-Men. Like, really? Like there's no X-Men movie.
Because apparently, and this is just from a report that I read, even though Marvel has bought the rights to Fox and their properties, they technically can't cast anybody new for X-Men until 2025.
So why would you do this in Ms. Marvel? Why would that be a part of like, were they trying to save the show because they're like, oh man, we're getting to the end of this, of the show. We're like, this isn't ending right. Let's just throw this in there and plant a seed so that it will blossom in 4 years. I'm like, man, that doesn't sound.
I think
good to me.
I don't think this is the end of the mutant discussion before X-Men. I feel like there's going to be other scenarios where we'll be introduced to different mutants. It's just not necessarily the X-Men proper themselves.
So what you're saying is, if they can't cast new members, we may see in some of the movies or TV shows, we may see like Hugh Jackman.
It's possible. Well, he may not be the definitive Wolverine, but
they're doing a multiverse.
Yeah,
so
but they're doing multiverse stuff.
They
They've
can do what
already
they want.
brought spoilers for Doctor Strange. They've already brought Professor X in.
Now, one thing I want to say
yeah.
that's very interesting is both times they've brought up any kind of in the MCU proper that they've brought up X-Men, that they've mentioned mutants in some form or capacity. It's connected to the cartoon.
Yeah,
and
they
not
always
to the old
drop
movies.
the little music.
Yeah, they do.
I love that music.
Which I loved.
that music.
I loved it. It gave me chills.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, do it again.
It
was. There you go.
But yeah, it's interesting for me the fact that they've changed Miss Marvel's backstory a little bit, and the fact that she's not an Inhuman, she's a mutant. But I feel like they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the Inhuman series, and they don't want to go back to that. So and
I don't even remember that.
Well, I don't even think they shot themselves.
You're welcome.
Well, they did. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I feel like they shot themselves in the foot by not embracing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show.
Yeah.
Because they had a solid footing with Inhumans, with the storylines. I think from what I watched all of it and enjoyed all of it. There were moments where it was like Monster of the Week, TV show, but that is what it is.
But we're talking about, did you watch the Inhumans? No.
No.
Show.
But what I'm saying, that came out after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had already introduced Inhumans. So, lean into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. storyline with Inhumans instead of then adding this random Inhumans TV show that I think lasted a season.
Yeah, it was one season.
And was not received well. I've not heard a single good thing. From it.
They brought back Black Bolt from it.
Yep, they blah blah. It's hard to say. they blah 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Sound like a sim. But yeah, it's interesting that they've changed that and turned her into a mutant. And I also like the fact that we have a direction now in terms of like, okay, we've got Miss Marvel, we've got I want to say Monica Rambeau, but it's her daughter.
Yeah. Oh, what is her name?
Yep, I just blanked on her name.
Little Miss Rambeau, the daughter.
Yep. We've got her. We've got Captain Marvel. We've got these MacGuffin kind of things that like these devices that are putting out some sort of beacon signals, like the 10 rings.
Yep.
And the bangle, and we've got for some reason Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel switching places. I think that's what's happening. And so I think we've got a direction here with what's happening in the Marvels. And so I'm interested in seeing that direction. Did it feel a little shoehorned in? Sure. I think so. The one thing that I very much enjoyed the Miss Marvel. I enjoyed the show. What I didn't like is that they fell real flat with their villains. The clandestines just kind of like fell flat.
They were there till they weren't.
Yeah, they just all of a sudden died for no reason.
Well, yeah, they got laid out
for some reason, and then the whole damage control thing.
That's got to be the weakest villains of all time. Like what? Okay, I know this is minor spoiler cast, I guess, but like this lady, like just going off and doing her own thing. I'm like, why do we care? Like one, and then why is she even doing this? She's just like, no, we're going to get these teenagers that are in this high school that have powers because we don't know anyone else that has powers in the world. We want these kids.
The only thing the only thing I could see in terms of this is kind of like early days of, with X-Men and the mutants, like there's a whole bunch of people that like were super prejudiced towards mutants and things like that. And this is kind of heading in that direction that they started this group for people with enhanced abilities and and they feel like they need to control them and things like that. I feel like we're kind of going in that direction, but still didn't care.
It felt forced. Yeah. Or it just felt
wow.
Yeah.
From saying Mark, you saying you don't care. I mean, because you like a lot of things, and you give a lot of things the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So for that to come from your mouth, woof, it must not be good.
The villains were weak, but otherwise everything else I enjoyed for Ms. Marvel.
I liked Ms. Marvel, the character.
Yeah.
I liked the actress. She was great.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of things that just didn't work.
Yeah.
Fell flat and weren't fleshed out. Horrible execution in their plan. It felt like it was like, I felt like Ryan Straube right there. Like, oh my gosh, am I done with Marvel? Like, this is what I felt like.
What's happening?
Like, jeez.
Yeah, no, I think overall it did fizzle out. At the beginning, I was like, oh, this is kind of different, refreshing to see a different take. We had played Patrick, and I can't remember if you had tried. I don't think you had, but
I beat the campaign of Avengers.
Okay, you did play the campaign. Like, I had that, like, basis for Ms. Marvel, and I was like, I like this little positive little ball of energy, and she's a little snarkier in this one, a little more teenagery in the TV show as opposed to the video game. But I liked it, and I really enjoyed the glimpse into another culture that I don't have. The Islamic Pakistan people. Like, I don't have a lot of personal experiences in that realm, and so learning about them, learning about the partition of India, really, which was a preparation for RRR, which I appreciate.
Crazy, wild, unintentional preparation for RRR.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. But after the fact, I feel like it made Moon Knight look better. I was like, I enjoyed the cohesiveness and the storytelling of Moon Knight more than I did of what they did with Ms. Marvel.
I will admit, after thinking and just being taken away from Ms. Marvel a little bit longer, this is the worst of the Marvel TV series, and Moon Knight was better, so it is no longer last on the list, and
Not
it sucks
by much,
because
but...
it sucks. Well, I don't know, like, would I watch Moon Knight again? I probably would. If they're doing a season 2, or if he's going to be in another movie, I probably would. Refresh, and I probably would. Ms. Marvel, there's no chance. Absolutely no chance after like comparing the two.
Which, it's interesting you say that, and tying back into Marvel's announcements from Comic-Con. So like a day or two before their announcements, copyright patents went out for titles of movies that Marvel patented or copyrighted.
Yeah.
And one of them on the list is Midnight Suns. And so I'm like, okay, we have a direction with Moon Knight now.
Oh.
So I
Look out.
think that's going to be one of those Phase 6 movies that they didn't announce yet.
Okay,
but they've got
because
introduced.
Midnight Suns, does that include Blade? Who are the all? Okay, so they're doing a Blade movie.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a Moon Knight series, I guess.
Set it up.
You've got Doctor Strange.
Okay, Doctor Strange.
They're about to introduce Namor in Black Panther. So, yeah.
Okay.
I think we're heading in that direction.
Okay. Cool.
So, but
Very good. All right. Well, that had nothing to do with my update, but there you go.
That's okay. It's okay. It's life for us.
We just went with it. Yeah, it was life because I think it was last night or the night before. I was like, Mindy, we got some trailers to watch and some info to. So we just went on YouTube and started searching everything, watching. We didn't get very far into the cell phone on the lap, looking at the screen at an angle. I was like, are we really going to watch this, or are we going to just wait till they actually release? Yeah. So we didn't watch it, but we'll wait. I read some of the articles where they described what happened, and that's good enough for me. As a guy who loves reading Wikipedia, I was like, you know what? I'm good with the written description of it.
I'm with you right there. Usually I'm like the visual guy. I want to see it in action. Reading the Wikipedia synopsis, I don't even know how you do it. Well, so crazy that you do it, but I had to read the synopsis and what the description of what was going on, and that, like you said, was better.
Yeah.
Black Panther's gonna make me cry. Just saying it.
Yeah,
man,
that trailer. That trailer.
That trailer, Black Panther for me was a good movie. It's in the top half of my rankings. I didn't like it as a lot of people did, but I can understand. I can see why it was, why it did what it did as far as box office is concerned. But this movie, I really think because of what happened to Chadwick Boseman, this is gonna do Endgame numbers, and it's gonna be one of those movies where it's like you better see it the weekend it comes out.
Yep.
You better see it, otherwise it's going to be, because everyone's going to see this movie.
I was wondering,
looks so good.
I was wondering how they were going to handle T'Challa, and in the face of Chadwick Boseman passing away, and it looks like they are leaning into his death.
And it looks like they're doing it in a respectful way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's just because of what happened with him passing away, and I feel like it's kind of like what. Maybe it's not the same, but Batman, where Heath Ledger passed away. Yeah, it was like more people saw it because of that. Yeah. And so I think people are going to see this just because of Chadwick Boseman, which is good, which is awesome. I can't wait for everyone to experience this, and maybe this is going to revitalize the MCU, as it were, because it feels like it's going downhill for me right now, and hopefully this movie brings it back up.
Yeah, I just feel like we're setting foundations here with Phase 4.
You're right. We are. Yeah,
but I get you. I hear what you're saying. But yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Well, that was in real life. On the video game front,
we're still doing your update.
Wow.
I thankfully don't have much to update other than the fact that my kids and I got the trifecta platinum of Minecraft Dungeons. Yeah.
Nice. Well
so we popped the plat all at the same time. Beat that old Arch Illager on Apocalypse difficulty. And unlike most of the time, when I get a platinum, I'm like, I'm good. We're done. Delete. James is like, can we play a little more?
Yeah, there's so much to do in that game.
And I looked at the trophies, and at that time, I think we had 45% of the trophies. With the platinum, there are 95 trophies in this game.
So many, yeah.
So I started doing some research, and I'm like, ooh, we can go to this place called Panda Plateau, and we went there today, and let me tell you, it was better than the Sao Paulo Zoo. There were little pandas. They were rolling around the level, and so adorable. And yeah, so we're having fun still, just getting really good weapons. I've gotten this explosive arrow, spreader, where I pretty much just shoot from the corner and it makes the whole level explode. Just enemies flying everywhere. It makes me giggle, just watching their bodies go like when they ragdoll, like just Minecraft style ragdolling across the screen and falling over. And it's so satisfying when you get like a mini boss and then you shoot them off the edge with full life and they die completely because there's no like partial death. Once any enemy goes off the edge of a cliff or whatever, they just die. So it's just stuff like that that's just really entertaining. And other than the fact that my daughter is on the edge of being like, are we going to play any other games? And getting really irritated at me and James because we want to play every moment we get. Other than that, everything else has been really fun, upgrading and trading weapons and all that stuff. So
nice.
We're still, I don't know that we'll get all 95 trophies, but we're gonna give it the old college try. So
Cool.
Sweet.
All right. Well, that is actually all from us. How about you, dear joiners? Feel free to contact us in a plethora of different ways. Share what's new with you. You can get on Twitter, on Discord, on Facebook. Links are all in the show notes, so get to clicking and connect with us. As is tradition, some very quick housekeeping where we offer towels, pillows that are fluffed with Andy's candies. I don't think that's how that works, but we're going to go with it.
Yep.
And we tip you off to the GMG news you need to know. If you enjoyed your time here, you can also check us out in other ways. Ways. We got Thor Love and Thunder spoiler cast coming up. Maybe we'll be loaded right after this episode, so just go ahead and load that up. We got the first episode of PSP, the PlayStation Premium Plus show. That's too many P's, I think, but we're going with it. And then keep your eyes peeled for another additional mini-sode called Memory Unlocked that will be spearheaded by our very own Marc Boucher. That will also be headed your way. So get your ear holes ready because stuff's coming at you, folks. Along that line, of course, we also are twitching, not literally, but on stream, online. You know, Mark, myself, Chris the Rock, Sunday to Saturday, you can find one of us usually streaming on that old Twitch. If you like quality merch, check us out at gmgmerch.com. If you want to throw a buck our way in the proverbial tip jar, consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/thegmgpod. And finally, if you can't toss a coin to your podcasters, but are still the giving type, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Podchaser and Spotify or Spotify. It helps us reach new joiners through stars, exclamation marks, feedback, etc., etc. Alrighty then, Pat and Mark, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners, go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game. 2, 3, 4.